Chris Mills, surfstrengthcoach.com, program design. For those that have done surf training success, all three phases, a lot about folks, guys, girls, been asking what to do next. About a week ago, I posted on the blog surf performance training and surf workout programs, kind of giving you the gist of how to start developing your own programs after phase 3. That's the biggest thing, teaching you some basics about good program design. So figured I'd give you a rundown of some more stuff. So check out that post, link is below. I give you some workouts, I give you some big guidelines of how programs should or shouldn't look, give you some more ideas. Most surfers really need flexibility, strength, power, and endurance. Those are the basics for most folks. When you start getting into like upper echelon, those that have a long training history or like really high level surfers, it gets a little different. But you need to be more flexible, you need to be stronger. Being more strong helps you have power, and endurance helps with strength and power. Basic movement patterns for surfing. That's how you should design programs based on the movement requirements of the sport. And so we're looking at squats, bends, lunges, which is also single leg work, rotation, pushes, and pulls. All those are the primary movement components in terms of surfing. So I haven't trained in like 6 weeks. So what I'm going to start going through is just kind of general preparedness, getting my body moving again. Nothing really heavily strength involved, but a lot of kind of dynamic movement. So I'll show you how to kind of progress and regress this. We've got a set or circuit, superset, 2 movements, one after the other. Barbell front squat for 15 reps with a pull-up. Pull-up, it's been a while, I don't know how many I'd rep out, but I'd probably go like 90%, so I'd have like 1 left in the tank. So, you know, if I can do 10, I'd only pull 9. Make sure that last one's still perfect. So front squats, really beneficial for a surfer, just the loading mechanics, puts a bit more requirements through the back muscles. So barbell front squats for 15 reps and pull-ups. Let's say you can't, or let's say you want to do some more power development with the front squat. Well, so instead of using a front squat, you could just do some type of hopping or box jumps or some type of single leg jump or rotational jumps or jumps onto a Bosu. That'd be a bit more power development. If you want to take a squat pattern and work on more strength or maybe build a little muscle, instead of 15 reps, that's kind of endurance, you drop it down to like, 8 reps, 10 reps. If you've got a long training history, you could work on some 6 rep sets. That's really just kind of hitting strength development. Pull-ups, you can regress or progress those lots of ways. If you can't do strict pull-ups, you could regress it a bit and just hop yourself up into the top position, hold that top position nice and tight and control down. To progress them, you can put some weight, like hold some weight with a weight belt or put a weight between your ankles. So barbell front squats, superset pull-ups, I'd probably do about 3 sets of that. Not much rest in between because I am kind of just working on endurance, getting the system going again. And then I've got a 3 exercise circuit, dynamic lunges. So lunges working on single leg work, 1 arm dumbbell rows or cable rows, and then push-ups, any variation. Dynamic lunges, if you wanted to progress that even more, you could do med ball rotational lunges, you could do some type of plyometric lunge work. I'm gonna probably just do body weight, just again, kind of working on movement, work on flexibility, so kind of wider open stance lunges, dynamic walking forward lunges. If you wanted to work on strength, you could hold some dumbbells or you could hold some kettlebells in the front rack position and start working on a bit more strength development. 1 arm dumbbell or cable rows, so bent row, probably higher rep, about the 14, 15 rep range. 1 arm at a time. 1 arm, you're starting to do a lot of core control, but you're also pulling. Paddling is pulling, so we need lots of pulling work. And then push-ups, any variation. Basic floor push-up. If you want to get more dynamic, you can do push-ups with hands on a stability ball. You could do foot elevated push-ups. It's a bit more strength development, so your hands are on the ground but your feet are on a bench. I'd probably go through that circuit 3 times. And then I'd finish up with a little core work, Russian twists on a stability ball and a jackknife. Again, that can progress or regress depending on where you're at, but this is kind of a general conditioning program. It's not really heavy strength development. There's not a lot of like power development. It's getting myself back into some movement. So there is that one. Let's go through another one that's a bit more detailed. All right, so something a bit more progressed. This is, somebody with a bit of training background. If you've gone through all 3 phases of surf training success, good to go. Again, flexibility, strength, power, endurance, those are the big keys. Big movement patterns. So, kettlebell swings with a 1-arm standing cable push. So kettlebell swing, everybody should get proficient at them. If we wanted to do something a bit more strength oriented, you could do deadlifts, or you could do single leg deadlifts. It's a similar hip dominant pattern like a kettlebell swing. If you wanted to do something even more explosive, again, you could do some type of weighted jumps, box jumps, something that's a bit more power and speed. Kettlebell swings are great. You could do 1-arm swings, you could do 2-arm swings, and I would superset them with a 1-arm standing cable push. So cable push, it's a pushing movement, but it's also rotation. If you want to do endurance, maybe 15 reps or higher. If you want kind of strength, 6 reps, 8 reps, maybe 10. Or you could do speed, put a little lighter weight or a band and really just work on speed of movement. So you can see how that both of those can be progressed to work on something a bit different, or regressed to work on something that is a bit more structural, or you're not quite comfortable doing high speed pushes yet. Slow it down, control it. And then we could do a 3 exercise circuit, Bulgarian split squats. You've done that in phase 3. Again, that's working on some single leg. It's also a squat pattern. Endurance, go body weight for 20 reps a leg. If you want to go more strength, hold some dumbbells or some kettlebells in a front rack position or a side position. Work on maybe 8 reps or 10 reps. Superset it, 1-arm overhead presses. So you'd be standing, pressing up overhead. Endurance, 15 reps. Strength, maybe do 8 reps or 10 reps. If Bulgarian split squats are too difficult, or you're not quite comfortable with them, you could work on body weight, or you could work on dynamic lunges, something else that is single leg. Dumbbell bent rows, pulling, it's also a bent position. Again, important positions for a surfer. So you could do 2-arm dumbbell, you could do alternating dumbbell, so that's a bit of rotation in there as well. And then think of rep ranges. Endurance, do you want strength, do you want power? Good 3 exercise circuit. It's keeping the heart rate going, so you're working on metabolic conditioning or endurance if you're doing no rest between those 3 movements. Keeps the heart rate up, keeps all that going. And then for some rotational core work, we could do cable chops, or even higher speed would be med ball throws, single arm med ball throws, or rotational med ball throws. We could do some stability ball oblique crunches, so that's more just controlled strength work. You guys have done all these except med ball throws from Surf Training Success. So yeah, you see how this whole program could be progressed to something even more aggressive, or to work on something that's a bit more power, or where do you think you're weak? Are your pop-ups weak and you need more strength in your pushing pattern? So maybe you do some more push work, or is your paddling a bit soft? So you could do more pulling and do it in like a 3 or 4 exercise circuit. So you're constantly moving, keeping the heart rate up, endurance, pull, pull, pull. So again, use this one. Good program. But think of the primary movement requirements. So squats, bends, lunges, or single leg, rotations, pushes, and pulls. They don't all have to be in a single program, but your entire training protocols, let's say you're doing 2 programs alternating, similar like Surf Training Success, all those should be in there. Flexibility, strength, power, endurance. I have a lot of my guys, just like you've done in Surf Training Success, is a good warm-up. And you can also do some type of mobility drill in your rest period. So if you hit 1, 2, 3, then you give yourself a minute or a minute and a half rest. Do some stretches. Do some of those Spider-Man rotations. Do some inchworms. Do some of those wall slides. That should give you some good insight. Again, check out the blog post. I've put it below of the previous post. There's some programs on there. All your questions, send them to me on Facebook, surfstrengthcoach.com. Put your own programs together. If you post them on Surf Strength Coach, I'll put them up so we can all start critiquing them. It's a good learning process. Don't always rely on me or somebody else to write your own programs. Start getting the idea of how to do it. It's not that difficult until you start dealing with like rehab-oriented stuff. Big basic movements. You're a surfer. You need to be able to move efficiently. You need squats, bends, lunges, rotations, pushes, and pulls. And then flexibility, strength, power, and endurance. All good. Train. If you need to, check out Surf Training Success. It gives you such a foundation of movements that you can really start putting your own programs together. If you finished phase 3, hit this one up. That's totally good. Make some tweaks if you want. Send me some stuff. I will look at it. That's it, man. Check it out on Facebook. Get in touch with me. Train. Do what you want to do in life. Surf. Eat some good food.